Okay, so the prerequisites are, the first thing is that you need to have a MS SQL, and this is 2018, 2019 version need to be installed in your system. In case if MS SQL is not installed, so when you install Business Central, okay, by default the MS SQL 2018 and 19 will be installed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
after that you have to install VS Code. Okay, so see, this is a Business Central. Okay, if you talk about what is the Business Central and why do we have a VS Code, okay, that you need to know, like how it connects VS Code with the Business Central and MS SQL. So this sequence you must know. Like, see, when you install the Business Central, so this is actually the VS Code. This is the VS
Mm-hmm.
Code. I will talk about it later. First, let me complete what is a Business Central.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you install the Business Central 14 or Business Central 20 or 21, okay,
Mm-hmm.
currently 21 and 22 is running. Okay, so we will be working on Business Central 20. Okay, that's a stable version, BC
Mm-hmm.
20. Okay, the BC 14. Okay, BC
Mm-hmm.
14 is the very initial version.
Mm-hmm.
Business 2014, we say it Business 14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was a very initial version. So when you install the Business Central, these are the components will get installed: Business
Mm-hmm.
Central Administration, Business
Mm-hmm.
Central Administration Cell, Business Central Development Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the most important thing here is that you need to know, like, what is the Business Central Administration. Okay, so let's go and open it. Okay, so as soon you install the Business Central, this component will get installed and the instance will created here, BC 200.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because why the BC 200 name has come here, because I have installed Business Central 20 version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I would have installed BC 14, then you might have seen here BC 140.
Okay.
Okay, BC
Mm-hmm.
140. So let's go through this one. BC 200. This is the instance. This is the service. Okay, this is the service. So here you have to pay attention that
Mm-hmm.
using this administration, the VS Code makes the connection.
Mm-hmm.
VS Code will make the connection to the Business Central using the administration. So how BC will make the connection? For that, you have to go to the database here, okay, and see, even using administration, okay, the
Mm-hmm.
Business Central will make the connection with MS SQL as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Yes.
VS Code will make connection to the Business Central. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
the codes you have written in the VS Code, the customizations, whatever the activities which you have performed, the application or the app which you have developed. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that will be installed in the Business Central, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to install it, definitely we have to make a connection between Business Central and the VS Code.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So connection, how the connection will be established. Okay, this I will talk when I will come to the VS Code. Okay, and I will just show you a small thing using launch.json file. Okay, and this is the app.json file.
Yeah.
Okay, it plays the role to make the connection with the Business Central. VS Code will get connected using the app.launch.json file and using the app.json file. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the Business Central, how the Business Central will make the connection with the MS SQL? This is going to be possible with the help of administration. So in the
Mm-hmm.
administration, under the database tab, you can see here we can give the database name. This is the
Mm-hmm.
database name, demo database.
Okay.
Okay, if you see here, we are using the 20 version. Okay, so that's the
Oh, yeah.
reason BC 20. Okay, and this
Oh.
is the database server.
Mm.
Okay, so you might be knowing about, like, what is the database name and the database server.
Yes.
I should not go in there,
Yeah.
right? So this is
Correct.
the actual thing, like, to which database you want to connect,
Mm-hmm.
okay, with the
Mm-hmm.
Business Central. So that database
Mm-hmm.
name you have to give. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So once this is done, after that, what you have to do in the client service, here you will see one option, web client base URL. In
Mm-hmm.
the in the web client base URL, you can see this link here,
Mm-hmm.
localhost colon
Mm-hmm.
8080 slash BC 200.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how
Mm-hmm.
do we get this link? Any idea? And why do we give this?
To have access to the front end.
Okay, fine, that's correct. But what is this one? 8080.
Port number and the instance name.
This is okay, this is the port. So from where this port gets generated? Any idea?
No.
Okay, all right. So this link will be created from the IIS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even this is important one. You should know
Mm-hmm.
about the IIS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what happens as soon you install the Business Central? Okay, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the IS instance will created under the IIS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can see this is the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central web client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if it doesn't get created, it means you will not be able to publish the Business Central on browser.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so see, I mean, for every version of Navision, like for the 2016 also, I mean, IIS will get created. A link will
Mm.
get created. The instance, the service for
Okay.
2017 as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for Business Central as well. So let's see like how we can get the port 8080 from where we do the setting for the IIS. So for
Mm-hmm.
that, you have to go to the binding. In the binding, we can see this port 8080.
Mm-hmm.
In case suppose the port has been used by 2016 or 2017, okay,
Mm-hmm.
might be like when you installed 2016, at that time you had used this 8080.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this port you cannot use more than one service. You can't use with Business Central along with 2016. So for
Mm-hmm.
the 2016, you have to change it whether you make it 8081, 8082, but you cannot
Mm.
have the same port ID.
Okay.
So that's the reason. If you see here, if you pay attention, this service is stopped. Okay, this service is stopped. In case you want to run it, then in this case you have to change the port number for 2016. Just go to the port, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you can change it to 8081.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see, when you click on 8081, it says the binding 8081 is assigned to another site. It means
Mm-hmm.
it might have been used, it is used with 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to 2017 and see. See, it is used with
Mm-hmm.
2017. So you
Mm-hmm.
cannot use the same port with 2016. It will give you the warning. Okay, it
Mm-hmm.
gives you the warning. We make it 8082 that we will be able to make. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
this you need to know. Sometimes you are not able to connect to the Business Central on browser because the same port you have used in more than one service, in more
Mm-hmm.
than one instance. Okay, so at that time, I mean, the browser gets confused which one to connect 2016 or Business Central if you have used the same port in both the.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so this is the important one. You should know it, like how to change the port and how to configure it using
Mm-hmm.
IIA. All right, so this
Fine.
is this is clear.
Yeah.
All right, I will close this. Okay, so this is the administration section. I was talking about web client based URL. So here we give the URL. So this URL will get it from the IIS HTTP. We always use the local host colon
Mm-hmm.
8080 slash BC 200. All right. After that, you have to make one more changes in administration to run the business central is that here the debugging allowed need to be checked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, debugging allowed, enable debugging.
Okay.
Okay, these two need to be checked, then you will be able to debug in Business Central, otherwise you will not be able to. All right,
Okay.
in case if you make any kind of changes in the instance, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so whenever you make any changes, you need to restart this instance, you need
Mm-hmm.
to restart this service, otherwise the changes will not take into place, it will not be in effect if you don't, if you
Reflected.
don't, yeah, restart. Okay, so make sure whenever you make the changes, just you have to restart that service. All right,
Yeah.
so we are good with like these are the three prerequisites are needed: MS SQL, Business Central 14 or 20. We will work with 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but see, suppose if you have got any upgrade project like from 2017 to Business Central, so
Mm-hmm.
directly you cannot move to Business Central 20. Okay, first you have to move from Navision 2017, Navision 2016 or 2017 to, first we have to go to the BC 14. Directly you cannot go to BC 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because what happens when you upgrade the projects from Navision 2016 or Navision 2017 to Business Central, okay,
Uh-huh.
so as we know, like in Navision, we have the file type is as FOB or text file, right? But that file type doesn't support in Business Central,
Mm-hmm.
right? In Business Central, the file type is what? .al.
Okay.
Okay, this is the file type. So what happens when you upgrade from 2016 or 17 to Business Central? So first you have to create the Delta file. First, the Delta file will be created. After that, this Delta file will be converted to the AL file.
Okay.
Okay, first from Navision 2016 or 17, you will take the object and make that object into, convert that object into the delta file, and that delta file will be converted to the AL file.
Mhm.
All right. So how the AL file will get created in
Mhm.
Business Central 14 in the setup, we have a tool text to AL. So using that tool, we can convert this delta file to AL file,
Mhm.
and this AL file will be supported to the Business Central. Okay. So I talked about the text to AL file.
Yeah.
Okay. Text to AL. It is a exe file. Okay. Text to AL file. Okay. So using this tool, actually we call it tool. Okay. Using this tool, you can convert the delta file to the AL file. And this
Okay.
text to AL file is available only in BC14. Okay, only in BC14. So it is always recommended that whenever you are going to upgrade the projects from Navision to Business Central, you should go into the Business 14. Okay, so when you are successfully able to convert the file into the AL file, then the project has been created and you have converted the file into the AL file. Using that AL file, you have made the project, right? Extensions and all that you have developed. Simply, you have to take those extensions and put it into the Business Central 20.
Mhm.
Okay, so just I gave you a brief like how you when if suppose if you are going to upgrade the project from Navision 2016 to 17, this is the steps we follow. All right. Now I'll come to the VS Code. Okay, so when you install the VS Code, okay, let me close this. So this is the VS Code actually. This is a code editor. Okay, VS Code is a code editor where you can write the code. You can use any languages in the VS Code. It is not only like you can write the code using the AL language. In Business Central, we use the AL language, application language, but in the VS Code, you can use any languages like C++, Java, .NET, any language that you can use. Okay, but when we are going to work on the Business Central, okay, so we will be using the AL language. AL language is nothing but application language. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how do we create the project now that we will learn?
Okay.
How we will create the project. So first you will give a path like where you want to create the project. So let me go to, okay, I will make a folder here. Like I'll give a folder session underscore. So I think you don't
Use some
just,
specific name so that.
yeah, I mean, that's not an issue. Okay. So in this path, okay, in this path, I will create a project.
Mhm.
Okay. In this path, I will create a project. So what you have to do, just go to the VS Code. Okay. Press Control Shift P,
Mhm.
or you can go to View and you can click on Command Palette.
Mhm.
Okay. Click on this. Here you have to select AL Go. AL
Mhm.
Go. It will ask you to give the path. Okay. This is the path and this is the project file I will create.
Mhm.
Session underscore 5.
Okay.
After that, it will ask you like which platform you will use. So for Business Central 20, we use platform 9.
Mhm.
All right,
Mhm.
platform 9 is Business Central 2022 release wave 1. Okay, so
Mhm.
we will be targeting 9.0 platform. All right, so
Okay.
once you have selected, then it will ask you whether you are going to work on sandbox, on cloud, or you will be working on premise. Okay, so currently we will work on premise here. So when you select the on premise, after that what will happen, a launch.json file and the app.json file will get created. Okay, launch.json file and the app.json file will get created. So this is a very important thing, like what is the app.json and what is the launch.json. So in the launch.json you have to make setup here. Okay, so for the server it will take here, you have to type localhost. Okay, in the server you have to type localhost, because in administration we had given a link that
Mhm.
web
Yeah.
you are a localhost colon 8080.
8080. Yeah.
Yeah,
Slash BC 20.
BC
200. Yeah, 200.
200, right. Okay, so this is the server I will be giving localhost here. Okay,
Mhm.
and here you have to give server instance BC 200.
Mhm.
All right, BC 200, this is the instance which you are giving.
Okay.
Okay, instance from
Yeah, from administration.
administration. All right, BC 200. So see how VS Code will make connection with Business Central using the launch.json
Mhm.
file. This is the using this one, this server instance, it will make the connection with Business Central.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, BC 200. And here I will be giving Windows. We will not be using user authentication. We will be using the Windows. Okay, after that you have to use port. See, this port you will get it from the administration only. Okay, and here you have to put the development port. You see the development port, that will be 7049. So when you install Business Central, see, this is the 7049. All right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the port I have used here, 7049 development port. Okay, so whatever the development you will be doing in VS Code, okay, so using this properties, server instance, and using this port, it goes to the administration and checks which is the database and which is the instance it is using. So to that instance, it will make the changes. To that service Business Central instance, it will make the changes, and that app will be published to that particular instance of the Business Central. So when you install the Business Central, sometimes you change this port, client service port 7046, 7047, 7048. If this port has been used with some other Navision version,
Yes.
so you cannot give the same port, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you will be aware about this, I
Yes, yes,
believe.
yes. And
So the same port we don't give. So what happens? Suppose if you have changed the port, okay. So when you assign the port here, you have to make sure that you have to enter the right port.
okay.
If you I mean if you will not mention the right port here, it will not be able to make the connection with Business Central. Okay. So make sure like this port and this server instance. Okay, you have to pay attention, like you have to give the correct data. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
you will not be able to make the connection. All right.
Okay.
See, here I can see error is coming, right? If you see here,
Mm-hmm.
so we can see like there are two error. If we see any file in the red, it means this file has error, and that error we can see here in the problem section, right? It says that the package cache could not be found, all packages. Okay, so
You need to
I
download
will
the package.
explain.
Yeah, need to download the package.
Yeah, need to download the package. Okay, so I will discuss about you in detail what is the launch.json and what is the app.json. Before that, we have not installed the package. What is the package? What do you know about this? What do you mean by package?
Yeah, maybe bundle of keyboards it contain. Keyboard it contain. Sorry, keywords it contain. Language
Keywords.
keywords.
Okay. See what happens when you install and when you make the project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first you have to download the base version of Business Central, right? Like what the right? Microsoft has given a base version, right? Base version of code. Like if we talk about the sales order, purchase order,
Mm-hmm.
okay, item master, these are the objects. Okay. That objects are not present yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that objects are not present yet. So I will show you like how to download that object.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, just go to that path where we have created this
Mm-hmm.
project, right? Session underscore file. If you go to the this folder, we can see this is the app.json file. Okay, this is the app.json file. And if you go to the VS Code, this is the launch.json file. Okay, if you pay attention, here there is no AL packages, right?
Yes.
AL
Yeah.
packages. So, right, yeah. And this is the AL file actually.
Mm-hmm.
This is the AL file. Whenever you make any project, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this you will get it hello world.al. If you see .al, it means this is the AL file. This is the AL object. Okay, so whenever you make a project, this will be by default. Okay, it will
Mm-hmm.
be there by default. After that, what you have to do, you have to when you download the symbol, it means that you are going to download the base version of Business Central. Okay, so that's the reason. See, this customer list is what? This is the base version of Business Central, right? Customer list
Yes.
is given by the Microsoft. This is not the customized one, right? We haven't downloaded the symbol. We call it symbol. Okay, we haven't downloaded the symbol. When we download the symbol, after that, what will happen? The base version of Business Central will get downloaded in this project. So let's do that. So how do we download the symbol? So to download the symbol, we have to go to view command palette, and we can see here
Screen
AL
disappeared.
download. Sorry,
Screen disappeared. Yeah. Now it's visible.
it's coming now. So how to download the symbol, that we have to know. So just go to view. Again, we have to go to the command palette. Click on the command palette, and here we can see download symbols. All right,
Yeah.
download symbols. So in case if you're not able to see these download symbols, okay, just you have to type al colon download. As soon you will type, you can see this option here,
Yeah.
al download symbols. Okay, click
Mhm.
on this. Symbols have been downloaded. Okay, symbols downloaded, and here also you can see in the output sections. Okay, the following dependencies will be queried for propagated dependencies. System application by Microsoft. It has downloaded system application by Microsoft 20th version. Base application by Microsoft 20th version. Okay, so the system file and the base file has been downloaded. Okay, once this gets downloaded, if you see, there is no any error appears now, right?
Yeah.
Now if you go to the path folder, you can see here of new folder has been created, al packages.
Mhm.
All right, if you open this, you can see here, see, this is the application, base application. Okay, system application objects. Okay, so you won't see the objects here. What happens, they give us the app. Actually, they Microsoft will give us the app, a single app for the, this is the for the base application, this is, these two will be for the base application, and this is for the system files. All right,
Yeah.
so it gets downloaded and comes and sit in the al packages folder in the project path. So till here it is clear.
And just
All
a
right,
question.
yeah,
If at all, instead of selecting on-prem, if I had selected what is this cloud,
sandbox,
what what difference changes I would have made?
on-prem, on cloud. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so see, this is the setup. This is I have done for the on-prem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on-prem. If you see here, environment type, I will talk about this launch.json and the app.json.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the launch.json, you can see here environment type is on-prem. It means you are going to do on
On.
premise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we need to understand what is the on-prem and what is the on cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me explain you like what is the on-prem. On-prem is nothing but on premise, on premise. So all the setups, the server activities you have to do at your premise only. It will be handled by your own company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the db server, the application server, everything will be taken care by your organization. It means that it is your own premise. Okay, so when it is in your own premise, so definitely you will be giving your premise details. Okay, so that's the reason. See, you have installed business central in your own laptop. It means in your own server, because it currently it considers this laptop as a server.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have given your here the premise details. On cloud means what? See, everything you are going to keep it on the cloud. Cloud means you can take the Azure or else you can take the AWS. Okay, so we prefer to use Azure because Azure is of Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and even the this business central belongs to Microsoft, so we prefer Azure.
Okay.
So let me open one more project, one more new window, and let me open this project. See, this project is for the cloud version. Okay, this
Mm-hmm.
is for the cloud version, and that's the reason I have given here the environment type as a sandbox.
And goes. Okay.
Okay, so what happens when you take the subscription on cloud?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on cloud, so in the admin center, you can create one production instance, and three sandbox instance. Okay, three sandbox is nothing but like it's a kind of UAT
Okay.
instance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
UAT is nothing but what, like
User.
where you can develop your own instance and you can check that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can create three
Mm-hmm.
sandboxes means three we can say three
Test
UAT
environment.
kind of instance. Okay, but you will be able to create only one production instance and three sandbox instance. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
each sandbox in the admin center will have a environment type. It means for which sandbox you want to connect. Okay, so that sandbox type you have to, like, it is a sandbox, and each sandbox will have a name. Okay, like dev 1, dev 2, dev 3. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that sandbox name we have to give here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, suppose in
Mm-hmm.
case you have to connect to the production, so here you will name it as a production, and you will give that
Mm-hmm.
production name here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this is the server, this is the link. Okay, that you have to give, like when you take the subscription from Microsoft for Business Central, okay, so
Mhm.
Microsoft will give you a link here, okay, like how
Mhm.
you are going to connect to the Business Central. So that link you have to provide, and this is the environment type and the dev, okay.
Okay.
So when you publish it, okay, when you publish it, so it will take you to the cloud, and there you have to enter the username and password, okay. So
Mhm.
this is how you make the connection for the cloud version, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me close this. Okay, so now, okay, so we have downloaded the symbol. We have downloaded the symbol, and we can see that symbol here. If you see here, we can see this symbol. So if you click on this, okay, it will show you like table, pages, reports, XML port queries,
Mhm.
table, pages, reports, XML port queries, code unit, extension. These are the objects, we can say. EL objects consist in the base application. If you go to table, you can see here the 36 table, like the sales header, sales line, purchase header, purchase line. If you double click on it, you can see this, the code of that object, okay. But in the base application, you cannot make any changes. Whenever you will try to make any changes, it will say you cannot edit in read only editor, okay. So in the base application, you are not allowed to make any kind of changes in the base application. So that's the reason Business Central has given you the flexibility to make extension and all right. Let me bring my charger, may disconnect. All right, so let me explain you one more thing. So let's know about like what is the launch.json file.
Mhm.
Okay, so whenever you create a project, you will be having launch.json and the add.json.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's understand what is the launch.json file. So
Mhm.
in the launch, this launch.json file contains the details about your server. Server means on which server you are developing your Business Central application, the extension.
Mhm.
Okay. So it will contain the server detail. So if you see here, it will tell you like what type you are using, AL type.
Mhm.
Okay. What request you will be using. You will launch the request.
Mhm.
Okay, environment type, it will be on-prem. So these are the
Mhm.
properties actually: environment type, server instance. Okay, so
Mhm.
these are the things. If you observe here, it is related to the server. Okay,
Mhm.
so launch.json contains the details about your server.
Mhm.
Okay, on which server you are going to make the extension. All right. See, this is the startup object ID. What is startup
Cus-
object ID? Any idea?
Yeah, customer card could be. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's customer card could be. Customer list page it is.
Mhm. So what happens like
You are calling a page, page number
mhm.
22. When you open the
When?
first, when you run,
Okay.
this should be the first to display.
Okay. So you mean to say like when we'll launch it, okay,
Mhm.
the customer list page will open, right?
Yes,
What happens if we comment this? What will happen if we comment startup object ID and startup object type
it will take us to home screen. Yeah,
homepage, right? Row center.
yeah, role center.
Right. Okay. All right. This will try when we'll publish it. Okay. You are
Mhm.
right. Like suppose if you have commented it, it will take you to the home page. That is the row center page. And if we
Mhm.
have assigned the like the object ID, so it will take you to that particular ID.
Mhm.
Okay. Of the page or table. In case suppose if you want to run the table, that we can make the change. We can make table here. Okay. If you want to run page, okay, so you can change according to your requirement. All right, and this is the port you, I mean, I
Yeah,
have talked about it like the port.
it's development.
Okay, yeah, and these are the few things which you, I mean, this will be there like which tenant you are using, the default tenant you are
Mhm.
using.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
and these are the few properties which you have to give, like the launch browser is true. Okay, when you
Mhm.
publish, then the browser has to open. Okay, and this is related to the SQL statement. Okay, SQL statement, like when you debug, no, at the left hand side you can see like how your query gets executed in backend in SQL, and how much time it takes to execute that queries and all. Okay, so if you want to
Mhm.
have a view to that queries and all, so these properties we are done with launch.json file. Okay. Now we'll talk about what is the app.json file.
Mhm.
Okay, app.json file. So what happens? This is the VS code. Okay, this is the VS code, and in the VS code you have made a project. Okay,
Mhm.
so whenever you get any kind of requirement like a customizations, or you have to make a functionalities, or you have to make any changes and all. So what you will be doing, you will make an application, you will make an app, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because in business central what happens, okay, first we have to understand like why Microsoft introduced business central. Why it is? Because previously in Navision we were able to make changes in even the base application, right? Base application. So in the business central we are not allowed to make any changes in the base application. You cannot make any kind of changes.
Mhm.
So whenever if you have to make any changes in the base applications, so that you are going to do using the extension,
Mhm.
so that our base application will be neat and clean. Okay, and
Mhm.
your changes will be there in the form of extension. Okay, all right, like the
Mhm.
table extension. Suppose if you have to make changes in the sales header, so what you will be doing, you will be creating sales header
Yeah.
extension.
Mhm.
Okay, and your changes related to the sales header will be in
Mhm.
the sales header extension. Okay, so your customization is separate and the base application is
Mhm.
separate. All right, so it will be quite easy to understand like what all the changes has been done in sales header table,
Mhm.
because for the sales header I have created a separate extension and we have
Mhm.
named it sales header extension. Okay,
Mhm.
so whatever the changes you have to make in the sales header, you will be using that particular extension. Also,
Mhm.
it becomes quite easy to migrate, to upgrade your projects from from the current version to the higher version. You need not to like compare the objects. Simply just you have to pick the extension,
Mhm.
okay, and keep that extension in the higher version. That's it for the code upgrade. Okay, before what we used to do into Navision, we used to take the base objects and we used to take the customized object and we used to compare both the object, and we
Mhm.
used to find like what all the changes we have done. Those
Mhm.
changes we take it and put it in the higher version. So it was a time taking process,
Mhm.
but in business central it has become quite easy. You need not do anything, just you have to pick those extensions and install it in the higher version. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, that's the reason has introduced, Microsoft has introduced business central. The first thing is that you will not be have access, permission or access to make any changes in the base application. Okay, your customizations, your every, your things will be in a separate extension. Okay, those extension you can install and uninstall in the business central. Suppose you have made a changes. Okay, just take an example. You have made in sales header table, you have made a changes in sales. Suppose you have to make changes in the sales header table, so what you will be doing, you will be creating a table extension, right? Sales header extension. All right, you have kept your changes in this object, table extension object. Okay, your all the changes customization you have kept it. When you'll publish it, what will happen, business central will publish an app. It will create an app. Okay, it will create an app and that app will be installed in your business central. Let me publish this first. Okay, I will tell you. To publish this, what you have to do, there are three options. If you go to the run, you can publish run without debugging. Okay, if you click Control F5, it will publish your project. Publish means it is going to launch the business central now. Let's see here. If you pay attention, see default publisher, the app has been created here, right? It was not there. Okay, when I did Control F5, so this app has been published. And if you see here, the business central will get launched. Okay, business central has been launched. So if you pay attention here, this is our initial link which we had given in the administration, right? Localhost colon 8080 slash bishop 200. Okay, and if you have to see where your extension has been installed, for that you have to go extension management, and here you can see these are the extension actually, but this has been given by the Microsoft. By the name you can see the Microsoft, like this base application company hub, okay, data archive. So these are the extensions which has been given by the Microsoft, and our extension we can see here. See, session 5, the default publisher, session 5, right? So this is the extension which we develop now. Okay, so it will get installed here in extension management. If you want, you can uninstall it. You can uninstall it. If you pay attention here, there is one more extension, session underscore 2. If you observe here, it is all, even this app is installed and even this app is installed. Okay, so we can unpublish this as well, uninstall it. Okay, so suppose if you have created a multiple app, multiple
Mm-hmm.
project, because what happens, even you are working, you have created a project for your own customization. Okay, some other company is also working for business central and he has created there his own extension, right? So both
Yes.
extension we can install.
Okay.
Okay, so just take an example, like suppose you have developed an extension, an app which is installed in business center. Just take this example, session underscore 5. This is the extension which you have developed. Okay, when you publish, this extension got installed in business central.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how you will see this extension under extension management. All right,
Yeah.
now the changes, I mean using, I mean in this projects you had made the changes and you have
Mm-hmm.
installed. Okay, the changes took place in the business central, but at later point of time you thought, no, I have to discontinue this functionality.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have to discontinue this functionality. So what you have to do, just you have to go to the extension management and just you have to uninstall this
Uh-huh.
app. That's it. Okay, now your changes is no more applicable to business central. Now if you
Mm-hmm.
go to customer list, even you won't see that message. Sorry, customers, we have to go customers. Okay, this is page 20. Okay, you won't see that message, like this message will appear, app publish hello world, when you open the customer list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this message is not coming. Why? Because we have uninstalled this app
Mm-hmm.
from business central, right?
Yeah.
If we install it and let's see what happens.
And one more thing.
Just a moment, just install this, install, it has been installed, and go to customer, app publish hello world, this message is coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now you ask your question.
Yeah. Now my question is, assuming you did two changes. Okay. The one
Hmm?
is hello world, and after that, assuming you did something else, you added one more message box, and
Right.
you wanted to discard the hello world, and you wanted to keep the changes you did later. In that case, how do you? Because when you say uninstall, both will get.
Exactly. Both will be uninstalled. Okay. Whatever the changes you have made in this project, entire changes will be discarded.
So how are you
Entire
going to
means,
tackle that?
sorry,
How are you going to tackle that?
either you have to comment that particular functionality in that project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have to comment
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
because what happens, see, this app is for the entire project. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this default publisher session underscore 5 underscore 1.000 dot app, it contains the entire code, entire changes which you that you have developed in this project.
One
Okay,
project
and
can
this,
have only one app.
yes, yeah. Okay, one project can have only one app, and that app has been installed in the under extension management. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if you are going to uninstall it, it means entire activity, entire functionality which you had developed for that particular app will
Screen
get
is not visible.
uninstalled. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's go to extension management and go to, okay, before that let me explain you this app.json file. Okay, see, this app.json file is related to the application which you are building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about the application. So each application, each
Mm-hmm.
application means the app. Okay, and this is the app which has been published for this is the app which has been published for this entire project. So what happens in the app.json file, it will contains the details about your app. This is the id, this is the unique id, and it is recommended that you should not change this id. Once published, you should not change it, otherwise your app will, you will not be able to install into business central. So you should not change this app id. This is the name of your app. Okay, you can change this name. See, if you see here, session underscore 5, this is your app name. Okay, and who is the publisher?